don't know because of NDAs and everything else, that there are such things as people.
All right, just to give you some background story. Trump is bombing the hell out of these boats that are coming from Venezuela. Um, I mean, I've seen videos. It looks like there definitely looks like there's drugs on the boats. It's like the boats are like stacked to the brim with like these like white containers, these white bags. And there's obviously drug boats, but we just don't know for sure. Technically they should be like arrested before they just get bombed the fuck out of the water. But who knows? I think, Trump is not a guy who like arrests people. He just bombs them. Like, well, I don't know. But that's what these people voted for. That's what these people voted for. So, and it's the Spanish people. It's the Spanish people who voted for him. Look, man, Spanish people voted for Trump, man. And now that Trump is bombing the fuck out of these Spanish people's boats, Venezuela, he's bombing the fuck out of them. Now people are getting mad. This is what they voted for. Yo, this is literally what they voted for, no? And look, guess what? In like 4 days, SNAP benefits are going bye-bye. Right? Who uses SNAP benefits? Poor people. Who are some of the poor people? Spanish people. Who voted for Trump? Spanish people. So Spanish people voted for Trump, and their SNAP benefits are getting cut out, and they're getting kicked out of the country. This is what they voted for. You voted for this, did you not? 25% of all Spanish people in this country voted for Trump. That's a huge ass chunk of millions of people. So if y'all didn't want this to happen, then y'all shouldn't have voted for him. Let's watch what happens.
Real life fishermen.
We just had one of these strikes, and there were 2 survivors. If these were illicit, okay, and now there's a third. Why do we send them back to their country of origin if they're really drug smugglers and terrorists? Why wouldn't we then take them and bring them back to the U.S. for questioning? If they're due process, we're just letting them.
Everybody subscribe. I need everybody subscribe. Everybody subscribe.
It kind of ties into the larger argument that is a huge difference between my friends to the right and myself, which is that there's nobody saying that you should not have deported the Maryland man, which you call them. But what we are saying is there are things in this country called due process.
What?
And so what we're seeing right now is the erosion.
What?
So when you have things like
What? No one is saying that you should not have deported the Maryland man. You talking about Kilmar Albrego Garcia? You talking about the dude who had a whole bunch of seats ripped out of his car, transporting people between state lines? The dude who literally couldn't even say why he was in Tennessee when he's from Maryland. Why are you in Tennessee when you're from Maryland with a van, with a black van, with a whole bunch of people in your van, and there's no seats in there? It's all, them seats is all ripped out, as if you're about to have 20 people in your car. What's wrong with you? Everybody was saying that they should. All the Democrats was saying that they shouldn't deport him. Y'all know who I'm talking about. Kilmar Abrego Garcia. Y'all know exactly who I'm talking about. You know?
And you have things like innocent people, and that question remains, being bombed or exploded because of strikes in the Caribbean. That should cause chaos.
Right. And they are designated terrorists. Guys, I'm old enough to remember when Donald Trump said, elect me because I don't believe in starting new wars. He's not only starting a new war with Venezuela, but he has soured U.S. relations with Colombia, a long-standing ally to the United States. Just deciding to strike random boats in the middle of the ocean does nothing to stop.
The reason that I appreciate you being aghast when you started your statement is because the way that this is going to be framed in the larger dialogue, which is like I love looking at social media and when we get off air, is that for some reason we are protecting or taking the side of drug dealers, which is the most intellectually dishonest.
I absolutely hate these people. I absolutely hate these people. What's up, Jimmy Senegal? What's up, Janessa Patterson? Yo, I absolutely hate these Democrats, dude. I can't stand them. And you know what's crazy? I voted for Kamala. I should have voted for Trump. Everybody subscribe, please. Everybody subscribe to my YouTube channel. I should have freaking voted for Trump because you guys don't know what the hell is going on right now. Let me tell you what's going on. Okay, so the Democrats are literally the new Nazis. Democrats and like the liberals out here in New York City. I'm from New York, bro. Like everyone, all these like New York transplants, all these like college kids, they hate the Jews. They hate the Jews, bro. They want to kill Jews, bro. They want the freaking Muslims to kill the Jews in Israel, cause the way Israel's destroying Gaza. So now like everybody's pro-Muslim. I could have swore the Muslims did 9/11. Is it me or did the Muslims do 9/11? I could have swore they did. I'm not anti-Muslim, but I believe in Jesus Christ, bro. I believe that the Muslims are going to hell, bro. They're worshiping the devil. They're worshiping Allah is pretty much the devil, bro. He's a spirit that is not Jesus. He's not God. So, I mean, but that's neither here nor there. What matters is that this fake outrage from the Democrats is all about the fact that that's why everybody loves Zoran Mamdani, because he's a Muslim. Bro, they just want to be able to like go on their little protests and say like, oh yeah, everything's okay. Like, bro, have you seen the videos where like people are actually going into the pro-Palestine freaking protests? Bro, they'll ask people and be like, do you think that we should kill the Jews? They'd be like, yeah. They'd be like, yo, should we leave the hostages? Yeah. Should Hamas freaking have killed the freaking Jews in Israel? Yeah, yeah. Everybody is pro Hamas now. That's why we call Zoran Mamdani Zoran Hamas Mamdani, because he's a freaking terrorist. Bro, this dude was literally posing with 9/11 conspirators. Terrorists, bro. And guess what? This is the part that this is the worst part that gets me, dude. You do realize that these freaking terrorists in Palestine will bomb New York City one day because they hate us because we're giving Israel money? Bro, the Muslims have always hated freaking America, bro. Are you kidding me? And now we're pro-Muslim? What is going on, bro? Oh, because they're killing the freaking killing the Jews over there? Man, F that shit, man. Well, I'm gonna bump this shit up again here, bro. These freaking idiots, dude, these freaking idiots are freaking talking about some, we shouldn't, everybody subscribe. I need everybody to subscribe. These idiots over here talking about some, we shouldn't bomb the boats. We shouldn't bomb the boats. Yeah, we should. The boats are bringing drugs into our country, dude. Bro, that's the only means of income these people have in Venezuela. Bomb the fuck out of these people, bro. Bomb them.
Intellectually dishonest argument that people make, and it's hard to have substantive arguments. But the real thing that people are, I don't want two things. I don't want the erosion of due process, and I do not want to start another foreign war on the premise of oil or whatever it may be.
Agreed.
Can I just chime in? And as somebody who's a refugee from this
Nobody cares.
When these things are shrouded in secrecy, when we take away people's due process, and then we say, well, they didn't deserve it because we know that they were terrorists or drug dealers because dear leader told us so. Before you know it, they'll start coming for you, and people who were on your side yesterday will say, well, I'm sorry, but the young woman in the yellow jacket was also a terrorist and a traitor, and she doesn't deserve due process.
But foreign combatants do not merit due process.
But there's no other things that are foreign combatants. Fishermen,
Can I ask you this?
the administration hasn't provided a shred of evidence of who these people are and what they've actually done.
Bro, this is literally freaking classic Democrats, bro. Classic freaking Democrats. Soft on crime. These are the same Democrats who will literally like let a freaking crazy man out from jail. They've been arrested 20 freaking times. Oh, maybe he'll change. Maybe he'll change. Then he goes and freaking stabs the girl on the bus. Remember that dude? Stabbed the Ukrainian girl in the neck on the freaking bus, bro. These are the Democrats doing this shit, bro. The Democrats are soft on crime. They're trying to be like, oh, they've been too hard on black people. Bro, black people need to be in fucking jail, bro. A lot of black people need to be in jail for the rest of their life. For the rest of their life, bro, and never come out, bro. I swear, bro. I can name a whole bunch of black people right now that need to be in jail, bro. Straight up, Lil Durk needs to be in jail. Freaking a lot of them, bro. A lot of those rappers need to be in fucking jail, bro. Stop playing with me, bro. Like, you got these freaking Democrats are all soft on crime, bro. And then they letting people out. Yeah, bro, they letting people out and let people just going out stabbing people and shit. Ain't no what? What, bro? Where did I lie? Bro, mad people need to stay in jails. The Democrats is letting people out of jail and they going crazy. These crazy people, they don't have no reform. They're just going right back out there and they're committing more crimes. It's like the people who are like arrested. It's the same shit. Look at this. Look at this. It's the same shit with the freaking boats, dude. Because think about it. They're like, oh, don't bomb the boats. Don't bomb the boats, bro. It's the same Democrat bullshit when they're like, oh, let that guy go back out. Let him out again. Let him just roam the freaking streets, you know? And then he goes and stabs some innocent person in the neck and kills them. You know, watch this. Watch this bullshit.
What she's saying on a fundamental level, which is that when the government just says we can kill whoever we want because we're telling you that they're bad guys, isn't that a bad precedent to set?
That's a
not
preposterous question.
just for you, not just for those people, because I don't know who those people are.
These are
What about if we think about people inside? What about if Joe Biden said that and it was not the
You
government?
would tell us there's no transparency with the Biden administration. Trump is at least letting us know what's happening, and they have promised more information. But look, I mean, he had designated a
Lydia, last time
organization.
we didn't have this scenario in the Biden administration. I mean, I think everybody would be.
Who cares, bro? Biden didn't know what the fuck he was doing. Bro, stop talking about Biden. Stop talking about Biden, bro. Biden didn't know what the hell he was doing, bro. Biden letting people into this freaking country, letting drugs into this country, bro. I voted for Joe Biden. Biggest mistake of my fucking life, bro. Biggest mistake of my fucking life, bro. I should have never voted for Joe Biden. Look at all these freaking Spanish people now, bro. Look what they're doing out here in New York City, bro. They're literally just freaking running into cars with their freaking cars, bro. They don't know how to drive. They don't know what the fuck they're doing. All they do is speak in Spanish. They talking shit about you. That's the only reason I want to learn Spanish, bro. I'm getting better at it. Bro, Joe Biden didn't know what the fuck he was doing, bro. Joe Biden didn't know what the hell he was doing, bro. Straight up. Like, I'm not even gonna joke. I'm not even joking. It was just anybody but Trump. It was just anybody but Trump. Look how many people he let into this country, bro. Illegals. Now Trump has to get them out. Trump has to get them out, bro. He has to get them out. Like, no matter what, bro. Like, I don't care if they're crying and boo-hooing and sobbing. You came here illegally. You weren't crying and boo-hooing and sobbing when you walked over them thousands of miles to come to this country. Why? So you can freaking cheat. All these Spanish people do want to do is cheat, bro. I'm in the freaking I do Instacart deliveries, right? Bro, these Spanish people got their freaking they got 2 and 3 phones. They're doing the same thing I'm doing, except they got 3 accounts. Bro, they got 2 accounts, 3 accounts, bro. It's like the mom and the dad. They put in 2, 3 orders in one freaking car, but they'll have a big ass van, right? And it's like the freaking husband and the wife is doing it, and they'll have a big ass van, and they'll probably drop off like 6 houses, make like $200. Yeah, bro. They ruining everything, bro. They doing mad effed up shit. They cheating, bro. But you know what's crazy, bro? The Spanish people, right? They freaking voted for Trump, and now they're gonna lose their little free money SNAP benefits. Yup, they're gonna lose their SNAP benefits. I didn't vote for Trump. I didn't even vote for Trump, bro. I know I sound like a Trump supporter. I did not vote for Trump. I voted for Kamala. I voted for Kamala Harris, bro. But guess what? All the people who freaking voted for Trump, you're gonna lose your SNAP benefits now. You're gonna lose your freaking unemployment. It's over. It's over, G. All your money is gone. All that little free money, you sitting at home and just you're not working. You didn't collecting unemployment. You just stealing my tax. You stealing our tax dollars, bro. That's where our tax dollars is going to. So we just paying you to sit at home, and you're not hurt. There's nothing wrong with you. Bro. They need to stop this bullshit right now. Trump, y'all need to stop this shit. All this unemployment, SNAP, freaking food stamps. This shit need to go. Government assistance, this shit need to go. Y'all not doing shit, bro. Y'all sitting on y'all ass. Y'all not working. Y'all not doing shit. Y'all need to get up off your ass and go to fucking work right now. Right now. Bro, I don't give a damn, bro. Unless they're gonna change the way of freaking people like knowing how to like people know that like you like let's say like this, right? You got 2 years to find a fucking job, bro. You got 2 years to find a fucking job, bro. And I'm talking about this, right? You better find a job ASAP, right? Because look, check this out. This is what I would do. You got 2 years to find a fucking job. Look, let's say you spend a year, right, to find a job. You spend a year to find a job, right? So that was a year. That's it. You don't get that year back. Now you got hurt, right? You got hurt on the job. You're unemployed. Now you got another year to recover. You're going to get paid unemployment for another year. And you better find a fucking job in another year, bro. You better go back to work in a year because after that year is up, it's over. You don't get no more unemployment. Now you get hurt again, it's over. It's over. No more unemployment for these people. These people is getting free unemployment, free shit. Well, I have to get up and go to work every day. My mom, my family, and we're not lazy people. We pay taxes, bro. We pay fucking taxes, bro. These people are just fucking lazy, bro. These freaking Democrats, bro. I mean, not the Democrats, but the freaking people getting SNAP and unemployment, bro. They lazy as hell. They not hurt. They not disabled. They not hurt. There's nothing wrong with them. They just don't want to work. They want to get their little $500 a week or whatever it is, and they all doing it in their little house, bro. Their little broke ass house. So they got like 8 of them in there, six and 7 of them in there. And what they all getting 500 a week, 2,000 a month. They put that little bullshit together. That's like what, like 10 to 12, $14,000 a month from like 7 people living in some little freaking ghetto ass house in the Bronx. They bringing in $14,000 a month, so they pay their rent, and they good. And guess what we do, bro? Guess what we do? We gotta work for them, bro. We working for them. This shit needs to stop. This shit needs to stop right now. All this food stamps, SNAP benefits, permanently. Cut it out, bro. Cut it the fuck out. Everybody subscribe. I need all my subscribers in the freaking chat. Everybody subscribe. We're gonna go back to this. This bullshit. This bullshit.
Striking roads on a daily basis without providing a shred of evidence of who they were striking. What kind of drugs were they carrying? What organizations were they a part of?
You
Who
guys
sent
aren't
them?
at least
Where were they
you don't want to know anything
Where were
about
they
it.
going?
No, because
I mean,
they're
these are
president,
questions,
so
don't you think?
along with it, right?
Nobody, like, I'm curious because I've always wanted to know how people who are diametrically opposed to me on issues think. So, do you want to know if they had drugs? Do you want to know where they were going or coming from? Do you want to know who they were? Do you want to know who they're?
Betsy, do you want to
I
know?
mean,
I
do you care
assume
about
that
any of that?
information is gonna be provided. In the meantime,
When?
Rand Paul has gone to
They're
Congress,
getting now,
and
though.
he's expecting to get, and I think he will get, a bipartisan resolution asking Congress to give permission to Trump to conduct this kind of activity.
And he
That's a
did.
good step. But nevertheless, Trump realizes, I believe, that his duty is to keep these drugs out of the United
But what
States.
drugs are we even
because they're
talking about?
costing
You just,
What,
so many
what drugs
lives.
are we even
You
talking?
just talked
No,
about
but hold on a
fentanyl.
second, but what drugs are
I
we
didn't
talking?
mention fentanyl, one of
Yeah,
our
but
other
you-
guests
yeah, but
mentioned
the
it.
reason that they
Fentanyl's
met,
not
hold
coming
on.
from Venezuela.
What drugs-
Fentanyl
I
comes
didn't
from
say fentanyl.
China.
I didn't
Okay,
say
so
fentanyl.
what
Hold on,
drugs
hold on,
are coming
hold
from
on, hold on.
Venezuela?
The reason that they're talking about fentanyl is because you said that the drugs that are killing all those hundreds of thousands of Americans, well, that drug is fentanyl.
Yep.
So the reason I'm asking you, do you even know what drugs we're talking about?
I'd
Because
like
I
the
don't.
government to supply that information, but to suggest that Trump is becoming an authoritarian military dictator over this is preposterous. And that it's somehow linked to the White House ballroom, that's
Well, I mean, I
really
think she was
wacky.
I think what's
I mean, I don't have to
ridiculous is that we're all pretending like this is about a drug war when in reality it's about a regime change war. Secretary of
Where's
State
your
Marco
evidence?
Rubio has a bone to
Tried
pick.
it twice.
What they say out loud that we're supposed to
Everything
pretend
he
like
said.
we're not supposed to listen to. Marco Rubio, Secretary of State, has a bone to pick with Venezuela because he feels that they are providing material support to Cuba, and he wants regime change in Cuba because he himself is a Cuban American and doesn't like that the communist revolution happened.
I'd like to see regime
Okay.
change in
Okay,
Cuba
but that's
too.
not our business. Okay, we have people suffering here in the United States. I'm not
It is
interested
our
in a regime
business
change
when
or
they
in
are coming
any
into
country.
the US.
I'm interested in taking care of our country.
When terrorists are coming into the U.S., it is
We're
our
terrorists.
business.
What are you talking about?
MS-13,
We
Trent
provide material support to terrorists all around the country, all around the globe as we speak.
FBI, there are literally gangs trying to infiltrate the U.S. So we would love to just sit
I
in our
thought Trump
corner
was
and not
protecting
deal
our
with
borders.
anything.
What happened? He's not protecting our borders?
Yeah, that's
People are
exactly
able
what
to
he's trying to do.
infiltrate our country?
He's trying to protect our
By
borders.
killing random fishermen and
Terrorists
the ocean?
out of the
All
country.
right, all right. Look, I think it's a really interesting point here that you're debating, which is
Okay, so they're talking about bombing those boats, and you're right. You know, Trump is not letting anybody else into the country. That's it. Nobody else is coming in illegally. Thankfully, bro. Thankfully. But guess what? Joe Biden already let like 20 million people in, bro. He let like millions and millions of people inside, bro. You know what I'm trying to say? So the gangs are already here, bro. The freaking cartels. All that shit is here already. Joe Biden already let these people in, bro. They're here right now. They're doing crazy ass shit, bro. Turn the fucking news on, bro. They're literally killing people, bro. These freaking Spanish gang affiliates. These people are absolutely nuts, bro. They're like freaking yeah, but more of them are here now, Ninja. More of them. There's more now. And guess what? They don't give a fuck, bro. You know what they're doing? They're freaking driving on the roads like maniacs. I live right next to the fucking Bronx, bro, in Mount Vernon, New York, and I'm in the Bronx all the time, bro. I drive from Manhattan to the freaking Bronx like every day, bro. These freaking Dominicans, dude, they're freaking smacking into people in their cars. This ain't fucking Need for Speed, freaking Tokyo Drift, bro. This ain't Need for Speed Tokyo Drift, bro. This is the highway, bro. They're literally smacking into people in their cars. They're racing up and down the fucking streets, bro. They're racing everywhere. They're racing on tight little fucking streets, smacking into like 8 cars. Dude, this is like literally like Grand Theft Auto on the fucking streets out here now with these damn Dominicans, bro. I swear. I swear, bro. It's low key terrible. Terrible. Yo, I need you to subscribe, Ninja. I'm trying to get freaking 100K subscribers, dude. Yo, for real, bro. It's like that in California. What part of California you live in, dude? Yo, I'm telling you, bro. This is out of control, bro. Now, look, I don't agree with everything Trump does. I don't necessarily like Trump. I didn't vote for Trump, bro. I voted for Kamala. I never voted for Trump once in my entire life. But I swear, bro, I might have to vote for him now. I might vote for him now, bro. I voted for Hillary. I voted for Joe Biden. And then I voted for Kamala. Bro, I voted for Hillary, Joe Biden and Kamala. Guess why? Because my freaking family was all like, yo, we can't let Trump da 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 da. Now look, bro, look what Joe Biden did, bro. Yo, Joe Biden wasn't the worst president, but yo, he fucked us up, bro. Look at all these damn Spanish people all over the place, bro. Now nobody can get a fucking job anymore, bro. These Spanish people is just, they just eating up everything. They doing everything. And guess what? If they ain't taking all the jobs, they just sitting down there. They sitting at home getting free fucking money. But you know what it is? Yeah, they getting free money from Snap, and like this is what this whole thing is about, bro. This is what this whole video is about. Snap, to it like assist government assistance, bro. They get unemployment and bullshit, and they not working, dude, because they don't pay taxes. So everything they do is off the books. But they work. They have a job, bro. They're making money, but they don't pay no taxes. So what they do is they just cheating. They cheating, bro. And guess what? Your tax dollars is going to their little unemployment, their little food stamps, their little bullshit. Cause they got a kid, cause they've been fucking, bro. That's all they want to do is fucking make babies, bro. They just fucking make babies, bro. These Spanish people they just mad fertile. They making babies like it's freaking nothing. They popping them out like freaking pew, 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 pew. They just popping them out. So they don't make any money. They don't make no money. Yo, no tengo no dinero, no tengo dinero, no. Pero tienes mucho hija, mucho niño, demasiado niño, tienen demasiado niño, pero no tienes no dinero. ¿Cómo? ¿Qué tú vas a hacer? Todos los días, ¿qué tú vas a hacer? ¿Tú trabajas? No. ¿Tienes comida? ¿Cómo? How you have food but you don't work? How you feeding your kids? You don't work. Oh, but we're going to give you money. The government says we're going to just give you money, right? Man, fuck these people, bro. So look, we're going to turn the TV back on. Man, I can't stand these people, bro. I can't stand them. So I'm happy when Trump is getting, and Trump is getting these people out of here.
You're debating, which is Trump says the border is closed, but he's also saying we're currently being infiltrated. That doesn't check out. But secondly, I mean, again, shouldn't he prove that these boat strikes are doing something about Tren de Aragua or whoever else? So far, there's been no evidence one way or another, and I think it's just, we can't even pass judgment on what's happening, because we don't even know.
But it's also, I mean, the arguments are kind of asymmetrical because you're talking about America first, and that's usually the through line of everything that people say. That's where they fall back. But then you don't have really an excuse for the $40 billion you sent to Argentina, other than just oh my God. But I mean, if we're talking about bailing out Argentina, but we have people here suffering, then I'm not sure how your America first MAGA thing works.
All right, next for us, a major shakeup in ISIS leadership because DHS thinks that it's not going far enough with immigration arrests. Plus, the White House is paving the way for Trump's triumphal arch by firing all the members of the commission in charge of reviewing that project. We'll discuss. But I also think that now we know that the process is kind of rigged.
Well, I say, first of all, good riddance to this commission. It's a group of elitists who don't share the aesthetic or artistic taste of most Americans. For example, they are architects, and you know what? They're artistic.
I love the former lieutenant governor talking about elitists, but okay.
Right, who was the chair of this commission until recently, is responsible for probably the ugliest public building in America, the new Obama Center in Chicago, which is this huge concrete bulb.
Bro, I have no clue how they're getting freaking food stamps without citizenship, dude. They have their little, oh, we're going to our we're going to our meetings. We're going to our meetings. I don't know what they're giving them, bro. They're giving them their little freaking card that says that they're they're in the process of becoming a citizen. This little bullshit little card Joe Biden gave them. Little bullshit little card Joe Biden gave them. I'm talking about they're in the process. How the hell are these people getting money? They're not even citizens, dog. Why? How are they doing this? This is a crime, bro. This is a literal crime, bro. They are stealing people. They are stealing our tax dollars, bro. Our tax dollars are going to these freaking poor people who are just coming here just to just siphon money, bro. They just want to just suck money up off the system. And it's not just them, bro. It's not just them. It's people here, born and raised right here, bro. Bro, all these fucking musicians. I'm a musician myself, but I have a job, bro. I had a job interview yesterday. I'm about to go to a job listing in freaking on tomorrow, Friday. I'm about to get a new job. Dude, let me tell you something, bro. I know there's nobody in the chat. Yo, these freaking people are literally these musicians, right? These musicians, right? They are literally just getting unemployment. So,
Bulbous,
and they pretending that like, oh, um, I'm playing gigs, like I'm a real musician. I'm doing what I gotta do. Meanwhile, they just getting unemployment, bro. They just faking it, bro. They faking it to make it, but they never make it. So they just keep faking it for their whole life. You feel me? That's not how I want to live. That's not how I want to live.
shaping structure that really mars the Chicago landscape. It looks like it's ode to the gulag. So don't trust his taste. And Trump is abiding by what most Americans want, which is public architecture that is monumental, maybe bold, and patriotic. And I say go for it.
I mean, that's what
I just want you, she was prepared and loaded for beer for this segment.
All of this stuff makes me want to scream because at least if you're going to consolidate this much power, at least be original. At least don't, copy every single authoritarian who came before you, who also did, every single one of them, even Stalin, all of them say that I know what good taste is, I know what art is, I know what portraiture is, I know what poetry is, I know what music is. And so I'm going to determine what the nation hears because my taste is the nation's
But it's also
taste.
a
The
direct,
personalization of it is just so utterly unoriginal.
there is I've used through line twice tonight, but there is a direct through line between just the destruction of impediments in their way and the fact that rules and ethics don't really govern the Trump White House. And before you take umbrage to it, let me tell you what my through line is. I think when you look at reports that the Trump Corporation this year has made over $850 million already, $800 million just from a crypto coin that foreign governments have put money in to influence what's going on in this country. When you look at the fact that they are Don Jr., for example, who doesn't necessarily have a skill set, but he sits on the board of a drone company that he invested $4 million in, which just won a Pentagon contract. When you look at those things, and you see that the ethics and the rules don't really apply.
Sounds like Burisma, remember?
Wait, but if it was bad, that's why you decided it was bad, then why are you doing it now? Critical, as I felt.
With the ballroom, right?
But it does, that's my point, so there are rules and regulations and
I need y'all to subscribe. Everybody subscribe.
regulations and regulatory bodies that the Trump family doesn't believe applies to them. And so when we're talking about the commission, when you get rid of the commission so you can push through things, I think that it shows that you believe ethics don't matter. And so, yeah, I'm glad you brought up Burisma because that was a talking point for 4 years. And you know what? If Hunter Biden committed something unethical, whatever, it was wrong and bad. But I can say that. Why can't you say that
I
it's
don't
wrong?
see anything unethical yet. I haven't heard any.
You don't know that Donald Trump Jr. sits on a board right now that he invested $4 million in and got a Pentagon contract?
What about
Or
the fact that
the members
president?
club.
What about the fact that the president just pardoned the head of finance, and now all of a sudden that very same company, now able to operate fully in the United States, is promoting the Trump crypto platform? So that is also a thing that literally just happened.
Can I-
Or
Donald Trump Jr. opening up an exclusive members-only club where he and other Trump family members socialize, and the cost of membership is $500,000. Speaking of everyday Americans who
Right.
have $500,000 to spare in club membership.
But let me ask you
So
something.
is that
Do
okay?
you think that the president,
access to the
empowered by the
president's children?
Constitution to control the armed forces, shouldn't have the power to build a ball?
He should have all the power. He should do whatever he wants. Like,
I'm just saying,
it'll be great.
let me just
I
say
think
this
what's
because
clear is that like none of the rules actually matter, right? Like how fragile our democracy.
Well, they
really
matter
is.
for our perceived enemies.
But like, this is the thing, like if the administration decides, you know what, we don't wanna follow rules, we're gonna do whatever we want, there really aren't guardrails.
So Julia brought up earlier in the conversation that she thinks that what this is all about is Trump doesn't want to leave. He's building, these sort of edifices that he wants to enjoy for a long time. He's also been asked about and talked about having a third term, and here's what he said on Monday about that.
Oh shit, here we go. Trump.
Really thought about it. We have some very good people, as you know. But I have the best poll numbers I've ever had. I would love to do it. I have the best numbers ever. It's very terrible. I have the best numbers. You read it. Am I not ruling it out? You'll have to tell me. All I can tell you is that we have a great group of people, which they don't.
All right, so this is dangerous. This is an interesting point because Trump is talking about running for a third term. And technically, he's not supposed to be able to do that. And I don't think he should. But this is what these Republicans and Trump supporters voted for. I didn't vote for Trump. Like, let's just keep it a buck. I didn't vote for Trump. Oh wow, someone voted. They said that should the government stop food stamps and SNAP forever? No, let them keep taking money. Wow, so you guys are retarded, huh? Now, mind you, I didn't vote for Trump, but Trump told you he was going to be a dictator. He told you that. Y'all thought he was playing games. Y'all thought he was joking around. These are Spanish people. Y'all thought he was, and black people, bro. Everybody who voted for Trump. Y'all thought he was joking around, bro. Y'all thought he was playing games, bro. Trump is not playing games. He's going to run for another term. He's going to run for another term. And whatever happens, you know what's interesting, bro? You reap what you sow, bro. We need to see the full extent. We need to see, like, the whole bad shit that Trump is going to do. Because this is what y'all motherfuckers voted for. I didn't vote for Trump. I voted for Kamala. You feel me? So whatever happens, whatever Trump does, that's on y'all. Y'all voted for him, bro. Now, whatever it is whatever it is. This dude might never leave. Yo, he might never leave. Yo, Trump might never leave, bro. Oh, I can't do 2 polls? That's lame. You can only do 1 poll? That's lame. Yo, Trump might never leave, G. Check this out.
As with a lot of things with Trump, he could just say the Constitution bars me from having a third term, and he won't say it, which kind of feeds into what Julia was saying earlier too.
I think he likes that we're talking about this right now. I mean, but look, as far as the ballroom goes, Trump has had a bee in his bonnet about this ballroom since the Obama administration. When he said that he reached out to David Axelrod, wanted to give Obama $100 million, a lot less than. We're talking about that, Gary. He wanted to give Obama money to build a ballroom. he's wanted to do it since then. And in another Washington Post article, there was reporting that Biden and Obama staffers were saying, we need this.
Yeah.
People were in porta potties.
And look, porta
And I gotta say,
potties,
to hear
porta potties.
the outrage from the left, though, it feels extremely ironic that these are the same people celebrating statues being torn down.
That's true. There was porta potties. There was people coming and visiting the White House, and they was in porta potties, bro. Yeah, they do need a ballroom, bro. Low key, they need a place where people can come and they don't have to be on the lawn. Cause remember, these dudes is just on the lawn. It's all muddy and shit. No, bro. This ballroom is low key a good idea, bro. I've been low key down with a lot of the shit that Trump's been doing. I'm not a Trump fan, but yo, I kind of like the sound of these things. He's bombing these boats. Don't let the drugs come in. Don't let no more Spanish people come in. Yo, kick these people off a snap. Good. Let the Democrats fight it out with the Republicans. No more SNAP, no more unemployment, no more free money for you people. Freaking number 4, he's building a ballroom, bro. When people come here, they need a place to have a nice big meeting, not on the lawn, no porta potties. Come on now, G. You got like government officials using porta potties? Like, what the hell? How does that look? How does that actually look, bro? So, yeah, Trump, do your thing, Trump. Do your thing, Trump. Keep going. Like, I didn't vote for you, but hey, it's looking good for me on my end. Yo, I don't give a damn about these people he's taking out. He about to double his efforts on freaking ICE, bro. He about to double his efforts on ICE, G. He about to double his efforts on ICE.
Being torn down, George Washington, Alexander Hamilton. Now there's concern about erasing history. It kind of feels like the outrage is all over.
Let me just say that I wasn't a big statue taker downer. That wasn't my ministry. I wasn't a big.
Speaking for himself.
I wasn't a big.
Here's the thing about the ballroom and this
Property
commission.
doesn't belong up.
I wonder if there is any reasonable point to make that there should be somebody who has some context for history and for architecture that takes a look at a plan for a ballroom that is supposed to be bigger than the actual White House itself and what that will do to the structure, to the landscape of the White House compound.
And that it doesn't belong to Donald Trump personally, and that if Donald Trump wanted to give $100 million when Barack Obama was in office, great, but it's not his. It belongs to all of us. And the fact that it was unilaterally changed,
But also, I think that
the fact that it was unilaterally changed, the fact that it is done to one man's case, I also, Betsy, like, is there one thing Donald Trump has done that you don't like?
I've made it clear there are many things.
Tell me one.
I don't
Tell me
support
one.
a third term. And much more important than my view, the American people are never gonna vote for a third term for any president.
I mean, it might not even be up there.
But one other thing.
And you raise chances on the Supreme Court. That's what you're saying.
Sure, and look,
What about third term for the dude who was What about third term for the dude during World War It's been done before. Now, I'm not saying it should happen again. No, I'm not saying it should happen again, but it's been done before.
sure, and look, I want to be fair to the Supreme Court, because they have passed down some rulings that surprise me. They don't necessarily go along with everything the Trump administration wants to do. So I don't want to discredit the Supreme Court. There have been times
They
where
do it themselves
they
just
did-
fine.
well, fair. But look, the point that I want to make is, when it comes to the White House, and when it just consider how young our country is, right? And I'm gonna take the White House out of it for a second and put it in the context of real estate in California. Whenever there's like a historical house or something, I can't stand the fact that oftentimes that house will get purchased by some wealthy family.
Yo, subscribe, bro. I need everybody to subscribe.
The reason why that bothers me is because you want history to like remain, right? You want some historical buildings to stay the way they are. And I have no problem with remodeling the White House or making improvements to the White House. But the reason why the commission exists is so you can maintain